Wrocław in southwest Poland, and the Sky bowling lanes for more coverage from the 2012 Kubica AMF World Cup, one of the major competitions in 10-pin bowling, but also one of the toughest and most well-attended annual sporting festivals in the world. The men now to compete for this World Cup. 48th winner we will get after this evening's competition. And a couple of pretty well-known faces up there stepping up for this semi-final. Andre Gomez of Colombia, well, we've seen him in action on Eurosport quite a few times, and successfully so on the PBA. The Colombian up against the Malaysian Syafiq Ridhwan. And Ridhwan also with a terrific calibre, and both these men looking to get through to the final to play, I don't want to say a virtual unknown, Cass, but that is really what we have in Marshall Kent of the USA, waiting for the winner of this one.
Yes, not everybody has heard of Marshall Kent. He's a young 20-year-old from the USA, and we'll tell you about him in the final. But at the moment we have Andres Gomez and Syafiq Ridhwan, and it's Syafiq to start, Malaysian champion. Starting off left-hand lane, and trips the 4-pin for a nice little strike to start with. That's always the way we like to start. Not exactly in the pocket.
Gomez has got a familiar face in his corner. South African bowler just sitting behind him, Guy Kaminsky, and one of two pretty well-known coaches up there on this semi-final lane, because we've got Holloway Chia, 70 years of age, in Syafiq's camp.
Yes, he's one of the world's greatest coaches, Holloway Chi, and many a time he's been here at World Cup finals as well. National coach for Team Malaysia.
In the orange top.
Yes, I didn't realise it was Guy Kaminsky. Personal friends of both of us. We know him well.
Yes, we get to keep up with quite a few of the stories in the bowling world through Mr. Kaminsky. A very, very popular player in his own right. He's won the Spirit of this World Cup tournament trophy on a number of occasions. But here he's got to put his own bowling ambitions aside and just focus up for Andre. Keep him on the straight and narrow. This is a lane that can score highly if you can find your line. Slightly incongruous technique of Syafiq, but a powerful lad.
Well, he's very tall, you see, and he doesn't quite get that deep knee bend to follow through, so he's coming down from a bit of a height. Takes the spare away in lane 3, so he's double to start with a spare. He's averaged 221 this week for 36 games, with a high game of 279. Andres Gomez 225 average, and a 287 high game. Only won 300 this week in the men's division. That was Michailo Kalika from the Ukraine.
Comes the brain ball for Gomez. Quite a popular ball, that choice, the spare ball.
Yeah, so pretty much even, just one pin on it after 3. And there's some great reaction in the back end. We're playing on 40 feet of lane oil. It tapers down from the foul line, and when the ball comes off at 40 feet, of course, there's all the reaction. The ball meets the dry part of the lane, and it just hooks up and hopefully goes in the 1-3 pocket and carries all 10. But, single 4-pin there for Syafiq Ridhwan in the 4th frame.
Still close. So we'll look at these two styles. First of all, Syafiq to bowl his second delivery. The taller bowlers, as Cass said, don't get that knee bend, so it always looks like they're bowling the ball around the legs, but that can also produce quite a lot of power and rotation just naturally through the throwing arm. And Syafiq just struggling a bit to find those strikes, but when we go across to his opponent from Colombia, who was born and raised watching the PBA on satellite TV before he made his move to the States, this is classic, and I always feel there's a touch of Norm Duke about him.
Yes, indeed. Andres Gomez plays the PBA Tour. That's his first title earlier this year, but he's a multinational winner in the Pan American Games. Many medals. Man from Colombia now lives in Florida, because obviously if he plays the national tour in the States.
You won't be covering airfares back and forth from Colombia too often.
No, I was just going to say, we've seen Syafiq Ridhwan before on television. He was in the Euro Challenge in Paris way back in 2011. Came third in that particular tournament. So as I say, we have seen him before, but at the moment he's struggling to get some strikes out. He's gone 5 spares in a row, so he hasn't quite got his radar sorted out. That one needs to be redirected. Still can't quite make it.
Holloway's still looking pretty cool behind him, the Malaysian coach. I think he'll be trying to reassure his young charge that there's plenty of time in this game, and even if the first one doesn't go well, he still has that opportunity to come back and win it 2-1, which is exactly what happened in the women's final. Dramatic stuff as Guerra missed out on her chance to make it 3 in a row.
Yeah, Gomez leaves a 7-pin in the corner. That's a straightforward spare. He's got 5 strikes and 2 spares.
And that's not a real brain, we must point out, inside his spare ball.
Moves across to the left-hand lane, lane 10.
I think which other players we've seen using this this particular style of spare board. Dominic Barrett of England. He's got one in the armoury, hasn't he?
He has indeed, yeah.
Let's hope they stop there with the body parts inside the ball.
Okay,
yeah,
back on after
that's
5
better.
frames.
Yeah, kind of trundling along this first one. I just think these two guys are trying to find their way in this semi-final. There's a lot of nerves pinging about here, and when you've got a youngster who isn't familiar with this kind of high pressure environment at the international level, I think both of these guys will be thinking, well, if I can get through here, this is golden opportunity to get the World Cup in the kit bag.
Yes, absolutely. Syafiq has just rolled a double in frames 8 and 9. So he knows after all of those 9s that he's had that strikes will come. It's just a matter of waiting.
Oh yes, that's nice from Gomez.
Yeah, great looking shot there. He could actually shut out Syafiq here if he gets a decent count in the 10th. It's gone across the headpin. The 9 spare here will give him 236. And unfortunately, as Holloway Chi will be telling Syafiq, you can strike out and only make 234. So already the first game is won, and it goes to the Colombian, Andre Gomez.
Yeah, not too much for Camo to say. Gomez's coach in this first game. It's all been pretty straightforward. Syafiq has struggled really with his line. He's struggled with getting those groups of strikes together, which we know you need to find at this level. But he's a classy bowler, and he's got a classy coach right behind him, so let's not count him out just yet.
Yes, he's finishing very well. I was just going to say, have you ever known Karl Kaminski not have too much to say?
Yeah, unfamiliarly quiet. Poor old guy, we're giving him a hammering today.
It's just 2 pins, Simon, 236 plus 234, but it's a win.
Yeah, mighty close in that first one, but Gomez is the man to beat now. Can he keep it together? Ridhwan needs to find the line that's going to work for him. And looking forward to seeing Marshall Kent in action in the final. It's not unusual for young players to find their feet and cut their teeth here at the Cubic AMF World Cup. He already has the junior title in his bag, won that in Thailand back in June. So, you know, we know he's a class player, and I guess the youngsters can play without pressure. They've got a lot of time ahead of them.
Well, the thing is, if you're at national level, especially in the USA, you've got some of the best coaches in the world standing behind you, giving you directions if you need it.
And of course the collegiate system does allow you to experience pressure on playing in front of crowds, and quite a few of those matches are televised as well. So that's the ball that we like seeing, obviously, with the brain in.
First rung of the ladder, you want to go one more, don't you? You don't want to go to overtime.
Just topples that 10, took its time.
Syafiq is working on 2 strikes, looking to make 3 in a row, straight out the trap.
Oh. Well, that might help.
That's a Guy Kaminsky special, that is. Perhaps I shouldn't say that, but it was a strike. It doesn't matter. It's 3 in a row, and he'll be looking to make 4 as well. He's got to get back from that two-pin defeat in the first game. Yeah, and he's laying the ball nicely out on the lane, getting some good distance. Great reaction in the back end. Carries 4 strikes in a row. Well, Gomez has got another one as well. He makes a double, so he's clean as well in the 4th frame. And he goes high across the headpin, leaving the 6 and the 10, which should be a straightforward spare, but he's pulled that one left, I think.
Oh, no.
He's missed them both, Simon.
Well, second time he's gone across the headpin on the left-hand lane in this match, and this time he's paid the price. That was a pretty weak shot for the spare. That's opened the door for this man.
Well, it was a big error from Andre's position. It was a makeable spare, and he just missed it totally. And so Syafiq has gone 5 strikes in a row and jumping all over just to get that lead extended. And it's up to 40 pins already. That open frame from Andres Gomez has cost him dearly.
That's not too special either.
No, he started crossing. Now the lanes may be breaking down just a little bit. Both players have got a little bit of overreaction. Syafiq's got the 3 and the 6 pins to spare, but a hard straight ball will take that away nicely. So 5 strikes in a row to start with. He's got a comfortable lead. Gomez, the man that has to do the work now. He's going to come back with probably 3, possibly 4 in a row to cover that open frame. He's made a definite move left on the approach. Putting his ball down more in the middle of the lane around 3rd, 4th arrow. Still getting a great reaction in the back end. Has made a slight adjustment. And that's a double. That's 2 great strikes in a row. So it may well be time that Ridhwan has got to make a move as well. He will see the change in the lane through the ball reaction.
Much more conviction about that pair of deliveries from Gomez. And Syafiq Ridhwan keep some sort of pressure on here. Needs a strike. Hasn't got it.
Stayed in the same area of the lane. Got a bit of an overreaction at the back end, and unfortunately it's the 4-6-7. It's left him a big split, which will be an open frame in frame number 7. So his lead is reduced.
Yeah, that's Gomez's open covered, but not by him. Although
That's
he did
right,
put
yeah.
that pair together, so he got a little bit of pressure on the Colombian. But this is approaching the part of the game where Ridhwan has got to watch himself. Another one through the headpin.
Yeah, he's needs to make some sort of adjustment here. His line is not working. There's too much overreaction. He may have dropped his ball speed down a little bit, but he's certainly hooking up too much to the headpin. Not making the pocket, and of course goes 3 frames in a row without a strike.
So the only positive, Cass, it was 2 shots that were relatively similar. So Syafiq knows that if he does make an adjustment, it should work.
Oh dear. Just the time when you wanted to get 3 strikes in a row, you almost missed the headpin and leave the 2-8 spare. So his score doesn't progress, and Syafiq Ridhwan stays 20 plus pins in the lead, and we're coming up to the foundation frame already.
Yeah, Gomez knows that he's let his younger opponent off.
He can strike off for 221, which may not be enough. And there's the first one. That's the foundation frame, frame number 9. He's got to put another 3 together, really.
We just caught a little shot of Marshall Kent, the American that will play the winner of this match, warming up in the background. He has the lanes at the far end available to him at the Sky Bowling Centre.
That was a very big strike actually for Syafiq, because it gives him the opportunity to shut out Andres Gomez here in the 10th frame. If he can make 20 pins, he's going to be 224. So a spare and a strike, or a strike and a spare, and Gomez is shut out. Well, it's in the pocket and it's turned the 7-pin around, but it hasn't gone. But that may well be enough to take the second game here. Must spare it and take 8 pins on his bonus ball.
That's part 1 done.
Yep, he just needs 8 pins now, and that will shut out and take game number 2. So the scores will be 1-1, and we'll be going into overtime again.
Okay then, this to send it into a third and decisive game. And that will do nicely. Well done to Ridhwan. Really good performance from him in this second game. Under quite a bit of pressure from Gomez once he recovered his composure. But Andre's got to go again in the decider.
Yes, Simon, 224 is going to be a winner. It's a little below par, but so is Andres Gomez's score as well.
Well, we have seen a little bit too much of the brain ball from Gomez's point of view. But Gomez, Ridhwan, it's 1 apiece. The deciding game to come after the break. Welcome back to the Sky Bowling Centre semi-final of the men's 2012 Cubic AMF World Cup. We are going into overtime, the deciding game. Syafiq Ridhwan of Malaysia just about to bowl up against the Colombian Andre Gomez, the man that we've seen quite a few times on Eurosport playing and winning on the PBA Tour. And as Syafiq delivers the first bowl successfully of this final game in the semi-final. Cass Edwards alongside me in the commentary booth. You've spotted something a little different down there on the lanes.
Yes, indeed, Simon. I'm glad you mentioned it as well, but I'm just wondering how many viewers at home have seen it. Competition bowling is bowled on a pair of lanes, like 1 and 2, or 5 and 6, or 7 and 8. This game has been played on lanes 10 and 11, which is an odd pair. You've actually got the right-hand lane of lanes 9 and 10, and the left-hand lane of the 11 and 12 pair, which is very unusual. And in 40 odd years of bowling, I've never seen a tournament bowled on a non-pair. So how's that for a bit of trivia?
Yeah, that's an interesting one, and not something that the layman would spot easily, but the clue is there is no bowl return right in the middle of the player's area, and I guess from the right-hander's point of view that does free up the right-hand lane if they're going to have to take a big old step to the left.
Yes, indeed, but it does look kind of unusual with two ball returns, because the players are have to pick their ball up and move physically across to the left-hand side to the next lane. Most unusual, but there you go. We move on. Gomez has had strike in an open frame, so he's down because Ridhwan has had open up with a double. Oh, great looking strike.
He's not so sure.
Well, no, it looked pretty, didn't it? He'll certainly accept that every time he puts it near the 1-3, and if you get that result. Back on the lane where he had the 4-7-10 split.
Yeah, this has been the problem side for Andre Gomez. Sliding it across the head pin. He's done it again. Dear. Big shake of the head.
Well, it just snapped up in the back end of the 4-6-7-9-10, known as the Big Five. More than likely to be an open frame, and as I say, it's the same man that opened up last time. He only takes 3, so he's strike open.
Not a good start for the man that opened in this semi-final by winning the first game, but this man, Syafiq Ridhwan, with what I would describe as a workmanlike performance, has managed to keep himself in the hunt, and now he's got a chance of going through to meet Marshall Kent, the young American, in the final.
Well, he throws 4 strikes in a row. You can't start better than that. Andres Gomez has got 2 open frames, and unfortunately he's way back. He's 40 odd pins adrift. And if you're playing a man that's averaging 230 odd, you may not be that confident of catching him up. He sees the funny side of leaving that solid 8-pin right in the pocket. So his maximum score can reduce down to 279. Which, the way he's playing, you wouldn't put him past actually doing that. We're at the halfway stage already.
Well, that break in the run of strikes really the only bit of light in this semi-final for Andre Gomez, but he needs to find his own striking run now.
Change of ball for Gomez. You saw him change the thumb inserts from one ball to the other, so he's changed his strike ball. Really needs to get a bit of a run going here. And that's a much better reaction in the back end with that ball. So it really was a good move. Whether Mr. Kaminsky suggested it or not, we don't know, but it was a good move. Gives him a chance to stay in this game.
Yeah, it's one of those decisions where the player will probably come back, sit down and say to the coach, look, I'm going to change, and then the coach will say, okay, yeah, go for it, and it just reinforces that thought. And there was a lot of conviction about what Gomez did there, but Syafiq can still take it away from him. If he keeps striking, there is relatively little that the Colombian can do here. That's a cracking score so far from Ridhwan.
Yes, as I say, pacing, not pacing 279, but can strike out for 279. Gomez really had little choice but to try something, because had he stayed with the ball he was doing, he wasn't getting the reaction, and he'd have been swamped, I think.
Upper hand to Malaysia. I mentioned the team competition earlier on in our coverage of this AMF World Cup, and that team prize will go down to the last game, because whoever wins it out of Malaysia and USA will take that away as well. Gomez not out of it just yet, but something quite dramatic has got to happen here for Syafiq Ridhwan not to go through to meet Marshall Kent. And he's giving it his best shot, isn't he? But I think he knows the writing is on the wall.
Well, he's certainly trying. It was a great ball change. He can't cover 2 open frames in a row on that left-hand lane. Not one this man is almost striking at will.
Well, leaving that corner pin, the 10 stands firm. Didn't really get any sort of touch from the other pins, but this should be a relatively straightforward spare, and spares are good enough for the man from Malaysia.
Yes, they certainly are at this moment. He'll have to put a couple of strikes in the last 2 frames, but he's got the lead, and well, there you can see it's 44 pins as it stands at the moment, with just a couple of frames to go, and I can't see Andres Gomez pulling those back, or I can't see Syafiq giving it up. And there you go, striking the 9th, the foundation frame, and this is pretty much done and dusted.
Holloway here with a big smile. He knows that his man is nearly home and dry. Now then, Andre Gomez. No other choice but to strike.
Looking for 5 in a row. It's frame number 9, and he's just a fraction light in that pocket.
Well, the machine's set here at the Sky Bowling Centre to give the messenger pins a lot of time to get across to the corners. So it's another one of those factors that could lead to high scoring. And on that occasion, Gomez couldn't quite get it across. Out comes the brain ball. Out goes the 10 pin, and down goes the head of the Colombian. He knows that this is just about done and dusted.
Maximum score of 213 will not be enough. And unfortunately, Andres will be going back to Florida in the USA on the next flight, probably.
Well, 213 used to be solid, but in this era of super high scoring, I'm afraid it's not even par these days, not for these champions. Well, cutting a forlorn figure is the Colombian. He would have dearly loved to bring this one home. Had some very, very good World Cup bowlers over the years, the Colombian team.
9 strikes, Simon. Unfortunately, with 2 huge open frames, reduces his score down to 213. Very much below par, and very disappointing for the Colombian.
So Syafiq, can he take his rightful place in style? Yes, he can. Very nice.
Yeah, nice shape to that ball. He's 7 strikes so far, and he's got a chance to get another one in the 10th.
It's good work.
Maximum score of 258. Pretty convincing win. And he will go on to the final.
Andre Gomez looking pretty cool about things. He of course has the luxury of knowing that he is a PBA champion, something that so many of these World Cup bowlers would love to achieve. And Syafiq Ridhwan does it. He is through to the final, where he will meet the young American Marshall Kent, one of the rising stars of the American game. But we will see who comes out on top, Malaysia or the USA, after the break. Stay with us.